Hare Krishna. We welcome all the humans from all over the world. We invited a few animals, but they declined. Demigods are here. No question about that. You wanted to use the clicker? You know how to. You just got to advance it. As we're singing the second half of the last line. So that, because I may not know the next verse. Here's a song that one can sing to become fully situated on the path of devotional service without fear. These are the names of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, 100 names which describe his pastimes and his relationship with his devotees. So if one can focus one's attention on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and surrender to his lotus feet, then one has the perfectly safe path of going back home, back to Godhead. Deyam sada paribhavagnam abhishtadoham. He's fit to be meditated upon, his lotus feet. Deyam sada, always. Deyam sada paribhavagnam. So all the embarrassments of material life will be erased by taking shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's lotus feet. Any embarrassments out there? Like material body is an embarrassment for the eternal spirit soul. Everyone's always trying to hold it together, but it's falling, parts start falling off the man. So this paribhavagnam, abhishtadoham, but not only that, it fulfills one's heart's desire. Being involved with the sankirtan movement, it means also worshiping the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And if one does this, then one's heart's desires will be fulfilled. Deyam sada paribhavagnam abhishtadoham tirtasparam shiva varinchi nutam sharanyam. Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva consider the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu their only refuge. And the implication is then, why wouldn't you consider that? In Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela, Lord Vishnu, Mahavishnu comes in the form of Advaita Acharya. And Haridas Thakur is Lord Brahma. They're fully surrendered to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Tirtasparam Shiva Varinchi Nutam Sharanyam Vrityartiham Pranatapala Pavabdipotam Vrityartiham Pranatapala. Those who take shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu find that they're situated on a boat that can take them across the material ocean very easily. So, Vande Mahapurushate Charanadavindam. It's just the very fact that there is a Mahapurusha. There's a supreme person, and he has lotus feet. Vande, one I worship, says Karabhajana Muni. And Karabhajana Muni comes from the family of Rishabhadeva. He had 100 sons. 9 of them turned into sages who wandered the universe and distributed Krishna consciousness everywhere. And they met Maharaj Nimi. And they gave instructions one after another to that great king. And Karabhajana talked about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Vande Mahapurusha, te charanadavindam. He offers his obeisances to the lotus feet of that great Mahapurush, Sriman Mahaprabhu. So here's Sriman Mahaprabhu Shatanam. I heard this song first in 1975 at the Mayapur Chandrodaya Mandir, sung by one of ISKCON's early sannyasis. Nadia nagare nitai neche neche gare. Nadia nagare. Oh, in the towns and villages of Nadia, Lord Nityananda ecstatically dances and sings these names of Chi Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Jagannath Sutta Mahaprabhu Vishvambara Mayapura Shashi Navadipa Sudakar. We'll sing it together. Vishvambara. All together. Shachi Sutta Gaura Hari Nimai Sundar Radha Bhava Kanti Achadita Natabar Chapala Balaka Matribhakta Brahmananda Varna Tarki Kautukandu Rak Nariyana Gare Nitai Neche Gaire Nariyana Gare Nitai Neche Gaire Vidyati Udupa Chaura Dwarara Mohana Tartika Sarvasya Gramya Balika Kridana Lakshmi Pratibodha Datta Udatta Balaka Shishachira Pati Putra Shokani Barakta Lakshmi Pati Purva Desha Sarva Klesha Hara Digvijay Darpahari Vishnu Priya Shvar Nariyana Gare Nitai Neche Gaire Nariyana Gare Nitai Neche Gaire Arya Dharma Pala Pitra Gaya Pinda Data Puri Shishya Madhvacharya Sampradaya Pata Krishna Namon Mata Krishna Tattva Abhyapaka Nam Sankirtan Juga Dharma Pravarta Advaita Bandhava Srinivas Grihadhana Nityananda Prana Gadadhara Rajivan Nariyana Gare Nitai Neche Gaire Nariyana Gare Nitai Neche Gaire Antardip Shashadar Simanta Vijay Godruma Bihari Madhya Dwipa Lila Shraya Kola Dwipa Pati Ritu Dwipa Maheshwara Janu Moja Druma Rudra Tripera Ishvara Navakanda Ranganatha Jana Vijivana Jagai Madai Adi Durvitataran Nariyana Gare Nitai Neche Gaire Nariyana Gare Nitai Neche Gaire Nagara Kirtana Singha Kaji Udarana Shudanama Pracharaka Bhaktarti Harana Narayani Kripa Sindhu Jivera Niyanta Adama Paduya Dandi Bhakta Doshahanta Shri Krishna Chaitanya Chandra Bharati Tarana Parivraja Shiramoni Ukalapavan Nariyana Gare Nitai Neche Gaire Nariyana Gare Nitai Neche Gaire Ambulinga Bhuvanesha Kopatesha Pati Kirchor Gopardashana Sukiyati Nirdandi Sanyasi Sarva Bhoma Kripa Moya Swananda Aswanandi Sarva Sukha Shroya Purata Sundara Vasudeva Tranakarta Ramananda Sakabata Kula Kleshahar Nariyana Gare Nitai Neche Gaire Nariyana Gare Nitai Neche Gaire Bodha Jain Mayavadi Kutarka Kandana Dakshina Pavana Bhakti Granta Udarana Alala Darshanandi Ratagranartaka Gajapati Trana Devananda Udaraka Kulya Prakashe Dushta Praduryarchana Rupa Sanatana Bandhu Sarva Jiva Pra Nariyana Gare Nitai Neche Gaire Narya Nagari Nitai Neche Neche Gai. Vrindavana Nanda Murti Balabhadra Sangi. Yavana Udari Bhatta Balabhera Rangi. Kashibasi Sanyasi Udari Prema Data. Markata Vairagi Dandi Achandala Trata. Bhaktera Gaurava Kari Bhakta Pranadhana. Haridas Raghunath Swarupa Jivan. Narya Nagari Nitai Neche Neche Gaire. Narya Nagari Nitai Neche Neche Gaire. Narya Nagari Nitai Neche Neche Gaire. Narya Nagari Nitai. Jaya Gaura Nitai, Gaura Nitai, Gaura Nitai, Jaya Gaura Nitai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So this is the Sankirtan movement. This is moving somewhere all over the planet, actually. We're all taking part of that. And those who absorb their minds in Sankirtan will remember Lord Chaitanya at the time of death, because there's so much momentum in keeping one's senses fixed on the order of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. My dear godbrother Kavi Chandra Maharaj has, since the very beginning of his career in devotional service, been absorbed in spreading the Sankirtan movement. I remember when I first saw him, there was an article about him in the Bhakti Guided magazine when he was an ideal householder, and his whole family would go on Sankirtan. And then he took sannyas, and for so many years he's been preaching all over the world, in Japan and Israel and Africa. Who wants to go to Western Africa and preach? In Nigeria and some of these other places. After Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj was there, Kavi Chandra Maharaj, after Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj left, Kavi Chandra Maharaj said, yes, I'll go. He was preaching there. He got malaria there, the kind that kills most people. And it goes right to your brain. And he was in critical condition, in a coma for many days. People went to see him, and he was non-responsive. And then Radhanath Maharaj went to see him. And Kavi Chandra Maharaj opened his eyes, and he said, we've got to get books down to Africa. People of Africa need books, need Prabhupada's books. The first thing he said when he came out of the coma. And Radhanath Maharaj was appreciating his full absorption. It's what Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, yang yang vapi smaran bhavam. When you leave your body, yante kalevaram, you will be attracted to a certain subject matter, that which you're accustomed to being attracted to. In fact, that's what Prabhupada writes in one of his purports, and that is that this verse means that whatever subject matter you're attracted to at the time of death, that's what kind of facility you'll get. So, Hun Maharaj was reporting on that to an assembly of devotees, that is Radhanath Maharaj, and then Kavi Chandra Maharaj, was saying, yes, I just remember that I opened my eyes and you were there, and then I saw someone who was completely transcendental, and that I thought of this. And he said, I think you brought me out of the coma. And then Radhanath Maharaj said, when I heard what you said, I think you brought me out of a coma. There was a nice exchange. We see these things when we're with devotees, whether beginning devotees or devotees who've been part of the Sankirtan movement for many years, that they become accustomed to thinking of Lord Chaitanya's movement and how to make it move. And they get an anxiety about it. They're thinking all the time. And they tax their brains. Prabhupada said, tax your brain. And also they feel they're not doing enough. They want to do more to spread Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement. Even while chanting, the devotees feel that they can't hear enough. They need more ears. They need more tongues. They need to expand their heart in order to accommodate the power of the holy name's mercy and so forth. And when devotees they're thinking all the time how to spread the Sankirtan movement and how to serve the order of their spiritual masters, then their brain has to grow. But it can't grow far enough to accommodate all of the spiritual desires. So at the time of leaving the body, then Krishna awards such a person a spiritual body, because that way that there's no impediments imposed by the material body. You can simply expand your spiritual desires and your pursuit of them unlimitedly and go on and on. So welcome to the Sankirtan movement. This is the place where Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu resides. Just like he's in Navadvip, in his home, he's standing right there as Dhameshwara Mahaprabhu, and people go there all day long, and they call out to him, they pray to him, they bring him things, and he gives them stuff back all day long. So he's here right in Silicon Valley. I invite right now all the CEOs who are watching tonight from all over Silicon Valley, of all the major corporations, you should come here and see Mahaprabhu, because he's the emperor of Kali Yuga. Everyone thinks this person's important, that person's important, but there's no one of real significance in the Kali Yuga except for Sriman Mahaprabhu and his faithful followers. So you can all come here, whoever watching, and see Mahaprabhu. And just see, all you have to do is come see him. If you bring him a flower, even senators have come here before, or Congress people, and they've come here and offered a flower to Mahaprabhu. And what more can you ask out of life except for have a reciprocation with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? And then you can learn to sing songs about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because if you sing the names of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then your heart will open to the process of devotional service. All you have to do is say, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhara, Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda. And you avail yourself to the mercy of all the Panchatattva, by whose special guidance one can come to the highest position of love of God. In fact, Prabhupada writes in a purport to one of an explanation of one of the songs of Narottam Das Thakur that the Sankirtan movement is like a churning ocean of nectar. And if you simply dive in that ocean, if you dive in the Sankirtan ocean, feel free, the water's fine, come on in, dive in. Then he said, then you'll come out on the shore of love for Radha and Krishna and Vrindavan by diving in the ocean. So one may ask, how could I attain such an exalted position? And the answer is by diving in the ocean of the Sankirtan movement, made by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and brought to us by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who is the ocean of mercy, because he's swimming in that ocean with all the great acharyas, and they're inviting us to come in and participate. And in Kali Yuga, the people are receiving, especially in this Kali Yuga, they're receiving the highest benediction from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Gaur Premanande Haribo! How did y'all like the song? Gets better every time, right? Well, first of all, I offer my respectful obeisances to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and to all the Vaishnavas who are present here today and those who have joined us online. And today, I'm going to talk about fear. Be afraid. Be very afraid. And I'll read you a couple purports about the importance of fear. Someone may say, but we thought we weren't supposed to be afraid because as Havi Yogendra says, Bhayam dvitiya binipeshata syad. Ishara petasya viparyayo smritihi. Fear comes from being separate, thinking oneself separate from Krishna. That's a kind of material fear. But once one comes to spiritual life, having a healthy fear is very good. And we'll get into more of why that's true in just a moment. But first, I'm going to read you a purport from the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. And this is from chapter 2. And this is text number 6. This chapter is called Prayers by the Demigods. Is today Janmashtami or something? What is it? Oh, it just seems that we're getting, like demigods are coming in from different places. Okay, so this is 10:2:6. Bhagavanapi Vishvatma Viditva Kamsajam Payam Yadunam Nijanatanam Yogamayam Samadhishat Bhagavan Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Api, also, Vishvatma, who is the super soul of everyone. Viditva, understanding the position of the Yadus and his other devotees. Kamsajam, because of Kamsa. Bhayam, fear. Yadunam, of the Yadus. Nijanatanam, who had accepted him, the Supreme Lord, as their supreme shelter. Yogamayam, unto Yogamaya, the spiritual potency of Krishna. Samadhishat, ordered as follows. Translation, to protect the Yadus, his personal devotees, from Kamsa's attack, the personality of Godhead, Vishvatma, the supreme soul of everyone, ordered Yogamaya as follows. Please repeat. To protect the... All right, go ahead. The words purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki. The words Bhagavan Api Vishvatma Viditva Kamsajam Payam are commented upon by Srila Sanatan Goswami. Bhagavan Swayam is Krishna. Krishna is to Bhagavan Swayam. He is Vishvatma, the original supersoul of everyone, because his plenary portion expands as the supersoul. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 13.3. Kshetragyam chapimam vidhi sarvashetri shubharata. Lord Krishna is the Kshetrajna, or supersoul of all living entities. He is the original source of all expansions of the personality of Godhead. There are hundreds and thousands of plenary expansions of Vishnu, such as Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, and Vasudeva. But here in this material world, the Vishvatma, the supersoul for all living entities, is Kshirodakshai Vishnu. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 1861, Ishvara Sarvabhutanam Bridesher Junachishchati. The Supreme Lord is situated in the heart of all living entities, O Arjuna. Krishna is actually Vishvatma by his plenary expansion as Vishnu Tattva. Yet because of his affection for his devotees, he acts as supersoul to give them directions. Sarvasya chaham hridisannivishto mattak smritir jnanam apohanam cha. The affairs of the supersoul pertain to Kshirodakshai Vishnu, but Krishna took compassion on Devaki, his devotee, because he understood her fear of Kamsa's persecution. A pure devotee is always fearful of material existence. No one knows what will happen next, for one may have to change his body at any moment. Tata dehantara prapti. Knowing this fact, a pure devotee acts in such a way that he will not have his life spoiled by being obliged to accept another body and undergo the tribulations of material existence. This is bhayam, or fear. Bhayam dvitiya binibeshata syat, from Bhagavatam 11.237. This fear is due to material existence. Properly speaking, everyone should always be alert and fearful of material existence. But although everyone is prone to be affected by the ignorance of material existence, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is always alert to the protection of his devotees. Krishna is so kind and affectionate toward his devotees that he helps them by giving them the intelligence by which to exist in this material world without forgetting him for a moment. The Lord says, Tesham ivanukam partam aham ajnanajam tamaha nashayam yatma bhavasto jnanadipena basvata. Out of compassion for them, I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. The word yoga means link. Any system of yoga is an attempt to reconnect our broken relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There are different types of yoga, of which Bhakti yoga is the best. In other systems, one must undergo various processes before attaining perfection. But Bhakti yoga is direct. The Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 6:47, Yoginam api sarvesham madgatanantaratmana shadhavan bhajate yomam sameyukta tamomataha. Of all yogis, he who always abides in me with great faith, worshipping me in transcendental loving service, is most intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all. For the bhakti yogi, a human body is guaranteed in his next existence, as stated by Lord Krishna, Shuchinam Shrimatam Gehe Yoga Brashto Bijayate. Yogamaya is the spiritual potency of the Lord. Out of affection for his devotees, the Lord always stays in spiritual touch with them, although otherwise his Maya potency is so strong that she bewilders even exalted demigods like Brahma. Therefore, the Lord's potency is called Yoga Maya. Since the Lord is Vishvatma, he immediately ordered Yoga Maya to give protection to Devaki. Text number 7. Gacha Devi Vrajam Badre Gopa Gobir Alankritam Rohini Vasudevasya Paryaste Nanda Gokule Anyascha Kamsa Sanvigna Vivareshu Vasantihi. That's a nectarian verse, isn't it? You can tell it's got some major nectar inside. The Lord ordered Yoga Maya, O my potency, who are worshipable for the entire world and whose nature is to bestow good fortune upon all living entities, go to Vraj, where there live many cowherd men and their wives. In that very beautiful land where many cows reside, Rohini, the wife of Vasudeva, is living at the home of Nanda Maharaj. Other wives of Vasudeva are also living there incognito because of fear of Kamsa. Please go there. Purport, Nanda Gokula, everyone say Nanda Gokula. The residence of King Nanda was itself very beautiful. And when Yogamaya was ordered to go there and encourage the devotees with fearlessness, it became even more beautiful and safe. Because Yogamaya had the ability to create such an atmosphere, the Lord ordered her to go to Nanda Gokula. Text number 8. Devakya jatare garbam Sheshankyam tamamamakam Tatsaniksha rohin Tatsanikrisha rohinya Udare saniveshaya Within the womb of Devaki is my partial plenary expansion known as sankirtana or shesha. Without difficulty, transfer him into the womb of Rohini. Purport. The first plenary expansion of Krishna is Baladev, also known as Shesha. The Shesha incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead supports the entire universe, and the eternal mother of this incarnation is Mother Rohini. Because I am going into the womb of Devaki, the Lord told Yogamaya, the Shesha incarnation has already gone there and made suitable arrangements so that I may live there. Now he should enter the womb of Rohini, his eternal mother. In this connection, one may ask how the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is always situated transcendentally, could enter the womb of Devaki, which had previously been entered by the 6 asuras, the Shadgarbhas. Does this mean that the Shadgarbhasuras were equal to the transcendental body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead? The following answer is given by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. The entire creation, as well as its individual parts, is an expansion of the energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, even though the Lord enters the material world, he does not do so. This is explained by the Lord himself in Bhagavad Gita 9:4-5. Maya tatamidam sarvam jagadavyaktamurtina vatstani sarvabhutani nachaham teshvavastitaha nachamatstani bhutani pashameyo gamaishvaram Bhuta brinna cha bhutasto mamatma bhuta bhavanaha. By me and my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. And that everything that is created does not rest in me. Behold my mystic opulence. Although I am the maintainer of all living entities, and although I am everywhere, myself is the very source of creation. Sarvam kalavidam Brahma. Everything is an expansion of Brahman, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yet everything is not the Supreme Godhead, and he is not everywhere. Everything rests upon him, and yet does not rest upon him. This can be explained only through the Achinta Bheda Bheda philosophy. Such truths cannot be understood, however, unless one is a pure devotee. For the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 18:55, Bhaktimam abhijananti yavanyaschasmi tatvataha. One can understand the Supreme Personality as he is only by devotional service. Even though the Lord cannot be understood by ordinary persons, this principle should be understood from the statement of Shastras. A pure devotee is always transcendentally situated because of executing 9 different processes of bhakti yoga. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Pada, Sevanam, Archanam, Bandhanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam. Thus situated in devotional service, a devotee, although in the material world, is not in the material world. Yet a devotee always fears, because I am associated with the material world, so many contaminations affect me. Therefore, he is always alert in fear, which gradually diminishes his material association. Symbolically, Mother Devaki's constant fear of Kamsa was purifying her. A pure devotee should always fear material association, and in this way all the asuras of material association will be killed, as the Shadgarbhasuras were killed by Kamsa. It is said that from the mind Marichi appears. In other words, Marichi is an incarnation of the mind. Marichi has 6 sons. Want to meet his little sons? Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, and Matsarya. Lust, anger, greed, illusion, madness, and envy. The Supreme Personality of Godhead appears in pure devotional service. This is confirmed in the Vedas. Bhaktir evainam darshayati. Only bhakti can bring one in contact with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Supreme Personality of Godhead appeared from the womb of Devaki, and therefore Devaki symbolically represents bhakti, and Kamsa symbolically represents material fear. When a pure devotee always fears material association, his real position of bhakti is manifested, and he naturally becomes uninterested in material enjoyment. When the 6 sons of Marichi are killed by such fear, and one is freed from material contamination, within the womb of Bhakti, the Supreme Personality of Godhead appears. Thus, the seventh pregnancy of Devaki signifies the appearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. After the 6 sons, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mata, and Matsarya, are killed, the Shesha incarnation creates a suitable situation for the appearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In other words, when one awakens his natural... Oh, thank you. When one awakens his natural Krishna consciousness, Lord Krishna appears. This is the explanation given by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Text 9. Ataham amshapagena. Ataham amshapagena. Devakya putratam shubhe. Prapsyami tvam yashodayam. Nandapatnyan bhavishyati. What did Lord Chaitanya used to do in Jagannath Puri each day? He'd go to the Tota Gopinath temple and he'd hear Srimad Bhagavatam from Gadadhar Pandit. Mahaprabhu's copy of the Srimad Bhagavatam was destroyed because he wept so profusely when he read it that it was practically washed away. So, it's not an ordinary assembly when you come to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. It's an extraordinary occurrence. And the vibration actually purifies the whole universe. What to speak of little puny Silicon Valley. So we have to focus on this task of expanding the vibration of the Srimad Bhagavatam all over at least Silicon Valley. We should make fully Krishna conscious. It's so important for the world. Gopal Champu Prabhu wrote me today, and he said he's on the Warped Tour. The Warped Tour. When we were kids, if you told somebody they were warped, it meant that they had like a warped personality or something like that. And now there's a whole Warped Tour. But he observed that the condition of young people throughout the nation has become extremely degraded, and his realization was that their only hope is this Krishna consciousness movement, and from his side, the mass distribution of Srila Prabhupada's transcendental books into the pickup trucks, station wagons, sedans, 4-doors and 1-door, motorcycles, and whatever conveyance they come to the concert in, that they should get these books and take them home. So just appreciating that you came all the way here from wherever you were just to hear the Bhagavatam tonight. And what you're hearing is Srila Prabhupada narrating, he's pouring over the Srimad Bhagavatam, entering within the, not that he has to enter, he's already within the pastimes. He's seeing them, and he's taking the commentaries from the various acharyas and putting them into this purport. And we're the recipients of that. And anyone can be the recipient of that. It's a matter of cultivating the field and allowing people the opportunity to hear the transcendental vibration until they become purified enough to want to hear it themselves. So you're in an extremely high position. Even these kids coming here, and they sit and just listen to the Bhagavatam, even they're not even sure what it is. They're special souls. So it's not an ordinary activity that you're engaged in. And that goes for every one of you online too. Hare Krishna. We're reading from the 10th canto, 2nd chapter, Prayers by the Demigods to Lord Krishna within the womb, and we're on text number 9. O all auspicious Yogamaya, I shall then appear with my full 6 opulences as the son of Devaki, and you will appear as the daughter of Mother Yashoda, the queen of Maharaj Nanda. Purport. The word Angshabhagena is important in this verse. In Bhagavad Gita 10:42, the Lord says, Atava bahunaitena kim gyatena tavarjuna Vishtabhyaham idam kritsnam ekam shena stito jagat. But what need is there, Arjuna, for all this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe. Everything is situated as a part of the Supreme Lord's potency. In regard to the Lord's appearance in the womb of Devaki, Brahma played a part. Also, because on the bank of the milk ocean, he requested the Supreme Personality of Godhead to appear. Did you all do that today? Did you sit somewhere or stand somewhere and request the Supreme Personality of Godhead to appear? You can do that. Anyone can ask, Hare Krishna. And by the vibration of the Srimad Bhagavatam, we've attracted a great soul into our midst. Please let's welcome Maharaj. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for coming. Hare Krishna. In regard to Lord Krishna's appearance in the womb of Devaki, Brahma played a part also because on the bank of the milk ocean, he requested the Supreme Personality of Godhead to appear. And see, if you request, then Krishna will appear or his devotees will appear if you just ask them. They'll show up. And this is the great secret in life, is if you can call for the Lord or his devotees and they come into your life, then you'll automatically make advancement. Just by seeing them, by hearing from them and so forth, this is the key to life. So it's a good thing to ask for. Don't hesitate to ask. There's a lot of other things you can ask for, they'll just bring you grief. Right? So Brahma played a part also because on the bank of the milk ocean, he requested the Supreme Personality of Godhead to appear. A part was also played by Baladev, the first expansion of Godhead. Similarly, Yogamaya, who appeared as the daughter of Mother Yashoda, also played a part. Thus, Jiva Tattva, Vishnu Tattva, and Shakti Tattva are all integrated with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And when Krishna appears, he appears with all his integrated parts. As explained in the previous verses, Yogamaya was requested to attract Sankarshana, Baladev, from the womb of Devaki to the womb of Rohini. And this was a very heavy task for her. Yogamaya naturally could not see how it was possible for her to attract Sankarshana. Therefore, Krishna asked her as Shubhe, auspicious, and said, "Be blessed, take power from me, and you will be able to do it. By the grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, anyone can do anything. For the Lord is present in everything, all things being parts and parcels, amshabhagina, and increasing or decreasing by his supreme will." Again, take power from me and you'll be able to do it. By the grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, anyone can do anything. For the Lord is present in everything, all things being his parts and parcels, amshabhagina, and increasing or decreasing by his supreme will. Balaram was only 15 days older than Krishna. By the blessings of Krishna, Yogamaya became the daughter of Mother Yashoda. But by the supreme will, she was not able to enjoy the parental love of her father and mother. Krishna, however, although not actually born from the womb of Mother Yashoda, enjoyed the parental love of Mother Yashoda and Nanda. By the blessings of Krishna, Yogamaya was able to achieve the reputation of being the daughter of Mother Yashoda, who also became famous by the blessings of Krishna. Yashoda means one who gives fame. I really like that last statement about, by the grace of the Supreme Personality of God, anyone can do anything. That's pretty encouraging, isn't it? And do you want to reflect before I move on to the next part? Anything that you heard so far? There were a lot of oohs and ahs in the last few paragraphs because of the content. So let's hear back.
So on the same point that anyone can do anything.
Dead mic.
By the grace of Supreme Personality of Godhead, anyone is able to do anything. So I was remembering from 7th chapter, Krishna says that Shabda ke Paurusham Nishu, I am the ability in human. So I just remembered that it's that verse.
Nice. Yes. That's very helpful. Hold on. I'll give you my full attention. And apologize for not giving you my full attention. I gave you about 62%. So I owe you 38%. Yeah.
It was really encouraging that how Prabhupada says that fear always is as a negative connotation, that one should be fearless. We talk about so many things. But how Prabhupada says in the 8th verse purport that always be fearful of Maya, then all the asuras of the lust, anger, greed, envy, pride, which is so very difficult to overcome, it will be killed automatically.
So fear was Kamsa.
The fear was Kamsa.
And Kamsa kills the Shadgabha Asuras, those various that represent the various anarthas and so forth. So the fear actually kills them, right?
Yeah. So, like how we should be fearful of not just take anything for granted and go and indulge, but be fearful of Maya.
Yes.
Making decisions actually. Like how you said that Krishna consciousness is nothing but the decisions that we make at every moment. You mentioned that in one class. So here Prabhupada says that combining with this, like having a right fear, will help us make the right decisions.
Very good, very good. Sundarananda Prabhu. And could you also release the PPT, let it be on the screen?
I just had in addition to what Mataji was, Gandharvika Mataji was saying, there was a statement in the purport that pure devotees fear material association. And there was also a statement that Krishna gives the intelligence to overcome contamination. So
he gives the intelligence to overcome material contamination. Yeah.
So I was just reflecting on that point, and so intelligence is one aspect, and of course, even having intelligence, one can still succumb to the contaminations.
Yeah.
Without having sufficient strength.
Yes, that's a good point, and that's made it. I'm going to divert my attention for 10 seconds because I see they're struggling with this and I know how to fix it. The Bhagavatam, Tashchadadhana munayo jnana vairagya mukta yuktaya pasyantyatmani Tashchadadhana munayo jnana vairagya yuktaya pasyantyatmani chatmanam bhaktya shrutagrihitaya means that one has to be fortified with jnana and vairagya in order to proceed on the path of bhakti. Means that if you have gyan, you know what to do. But if you don't have vairagya, you can't do it. Or if you have vairagya but you don't have gyan, you'll just be detached for no reason. So both of those have to be there to fortify us. And the other point you made?
That pure devotees fear material association. And that's something that I have to cultivate. Fearing material association. that it is, even association at workplace, if you're not careful, it can be contaminating, and it's,
Oh, yes, when you said that, I was thinking of another thing. And that is that when I was recently in Mexico, we went to Leon, and we were in a large square. A picturesque city is Leon. It was built around 500 years ago, and has quaint church buildings made out of stone, and has a otherworldly kind of feel to it. And we're in a large plaza, and the devotees set up some speakers, and some very expert kirtaniyas sat down and chanted. And they were chanting, and then we were distributing books in the plaza. And we experienced how distributing books along with the holy name, that was all-pervading because of the sound of the speakers. Well, the realization we started having was that people were imperceptibly liberated as we were meeting them. And then, after about an hour and a half, the music stopped. The chanting stopped. And then it was conspicuous by its absence. The transcendental effect of the holy name was conspicuous by its absence. And as we were speaking to people, after a few minutes, we realized how we were actually feeling separation from that sound vibration. And I was thinking a lot about that and other circumstances in which the holy name pervades the environment. And I thought that this is one of the ways in which one keeps the intelligence through which to have a healthy fear of Maya and to make the right decisions from moment to moment. And that is to stay close to the vibration. One may say, well, I don't know how to develop good intelligence. But the answer is to keep the transcendental vibration going and keep it current in one's life. And Vasudevi Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Janaya Yashuvairagnam Yanam Chayarahaitukam. By this engagement in bhakti, especially by Shravanam, one naturally gets these fortifying elements in one's life, jnana and vairagya. And it's a very practical matter that Prabhupada addressed once when he said that God helps those who help themselves. And helping oneself means keeping oneself in front of transcendental sound vibration. So if you can at least drag yourself to the origin of the sound vibration and keep as close to it as possible, then one can develop that intelligence and perspective to see that actually the material world is a dangerous place, and one can also have the strength and the wherewithal to keep going in devotional service, making good decisions from moment to moment. Here are a few thoughts about how to make a comeback. Because there may be instances in one's day, even in your morning, or your afternoon, your evening, or at some period in your life, when you realize that you need to make a comeback. This happens because of the strong effect of the material nature. And there's it's an enervating force. So it's a good idea to know how to make a comeback. First of all, is to keep this principle in mind. I love to work by principles because you can take them with you wherever you go. And this certainly applies everywhere. This is one of Prabhupada's statements. He said, this is a regulative principle. One should not fall from his exalted position. Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, 6th chapter, 5th verse. How does that strike you as a principle? On a scale of 1 to 10. 10 being the best thing you ever heard, and 1 means you're not interested at all. 10? Okay, good. Then he writes, you're not sufficiently afraid of Maya. This is in a letter that Prabhupada wrote to a disciple, and verifying what we just read tonight about having a healthy fear is a good idea. That you should be sufficiently afraid of Maya. We see this in one of the verses of Prahlad Maharaj, where he says that, I'm not afraid of you, Lord Nrsingadev, but I'm afraid of your Vishnu Maya, because I see that if I become a little casual, I could be pulled back into these gears that are grinding everybody up in the material world. At any moment, one can be swept away by this. And so one should be sufficiently afraid of Maya. She comes in unexpected ways. Like along the coast of California, there's little signs up in some of these coastal towns warning people about the waves. So they have what's called sleeper waves that come up and they grab people and pull them away. Oftentimes newlyweds go out there and they think, now we will conquer the world because we're together and in love. And then as they're looking off into the sunset, a sleeper wave comes and washes them both away, or one of them away, and that's the end of it. And there's a Bengali saying which sums up the whole experience of the material world. I built this beautiful house for my enjoyment, and now it is burned to the ground. That doesn't play so well in the in the real estate market and things like that. But the fact is that this is reality, and the Srimad Bhagavatam and the great sages and sadhus give us this sobering kind of advice.
I remember a class from Kirtan Prabhu. He came this week, the Rath Yatra week, and Saturday he had a Chappan Bhog at Sankirtana Prabhu's house. And in the lecture he gave that that one should one should fear Maya and should judge will this activity drop me enough to get me back in the cycle of birth and death when he's at an exalted position. So pretend one has reached a pretty exalted position after 20 years, and he's trying to make the decision, should I go into the stock market? That's what he gave, I think. And he also said that he should decide at all times what can make him fall. And yeah.
All times when walking that you could fall?
No, all times when one is doing his normal duty, what can make him fall?
What could make you fall? Yeah. One should be careful at all times. Thank you. So, nothing. I mean, it's just there. Thomas Jefferson, the price of liberty, eternal vigilance. In the Gita, Krishna mentions that ragadvesha vimuktaistu vishayan indriyaishcharan atmavashera vidheyatma prasada marigachati. That by observing the regulative principles of freedom, one can attain the complete mercy of the Lord. You think of liberty, freedom. I'm at liberty to do certain things, but that comes at a price of being vigilant. Not becoming lax as far as letting the material energy enter back into one's life. So George Harrison wrote in one of his songs, Beware of Maya. In fact, I think that's the title of the song. Beware of Maya. She will hit you. She will hurt you. And what's more, it's not what you are here for. So this is something that is a common theme, as we're seeing from the Bhagavatam, that you should beware. Maya presents a package that is perfectly suited for each victim. It comes in a form that is just for you. And you think, wow, this is for me. This is how they know. in my enjoying mentality, the material nature can produce so many myriad forms, combinations and permutations of the same recycled stuff, but it appeals to me because I have a enjoying spirit somewhere within my heart. And we know that Vishwamrita Muni, after 10,000 years, only heard the ankle bells of Menaka. But because there was something there within the heart, it stimulated him to open his eyes and see, what can I get? Who's there? And he was captured. So here's how Maya sneaks in. First, if one becomes prideful and thinks that I am really advanced, this is something that can happen in devotional service. One thinks that I'm liberated. This pride opens the door to Maya. Then laxity comes in, because one may think that I have an entitlement. Entitlement is very dangerous, and it comes from this kind of pride of thinking I already have a position, and therefore it's okay for me to be lax and cut back in certain ways, because after all I'm very advanced. So when you become lax, it actually invites Maya to come into the house. Yeah, come on in. Doors open. And the justification. Justification means I need to do this because, there's a whole long list that we can make of justifications. But one should become aware of one's own justifications and not tolerate it. You'll find that those who are strict, serious, and sincere in their sadhana don't allow justifications. They don't utter justifications and so forth. So when you give a justification, it welcomes Maya as a permanent residence. And she'll stay there as long as you're justifying that it's okay for her to be there. So here are some risky attitudes. One is, I am advanced. Another is, I am liberated. Another is, I can cut corners. Another is, I'm independent. Now here's how to lock the door on Maya. Safe attitudes. I'm not liberated. I'm never above chastisement. Oh Lord Krishna, please help me. I am the servant's servant 1,000,000 times removed. I wear Chunadapi Sunichena as a garland around my neck. And for those of you who don't know the verse, it means that I am lower than the straw in the street, devoid of all of any feeling of false prestige, ready to offer all respects to others, not expecting anything in return. Tolerant. I live to be corrected. So let's discuss some of these, because they are interesting to look at. What would you like to look at? Risky attitudes for 50, or I like risky attitudes for 500. What would you for 500? Okay. Feedback means reflections. Anything that you heard so far? Yes.
Maharaj, I was just remembering the days when we were in the Govardhan, and then I see every day used to come without fail 4 o'clock or 4:30 for Mangal Arati without, and not having, like, showing by the example how we should not be laxity or take the due advantage. So I was just remembering how it was, and sometimes leaders, and not always the leaders show by their own example.
Yeah, we go there every morning and see Jai Waita Maharaj was there before the curtains would open. Others would come in 30 seconds late, 1 minute late, but he was never late. He's Jai Waita Maharaj. He's been around for 50 years in devotional service, but he acts like he presents himself as a beginner, and he'll come in and he'll sit for the morning program. And this is a very safe way to conduct one's devotional service, to consider oneself a beginner. Yes.
And similarly, I found myself I'm making so many justifications when I was not able to come. Then I saw you, and then
Yeah, when you see Maharaj there, then you think, okay, I have no excuse.
And Maharaj, I have one question that also Prabhupada says that you should be there and active in your services. And in one of the very important phrase he gives, and so how we reconcile both the things, that we are also there and active in our services as well as we are fearful enough to protect us from
Well, fearful of material existence, but daring and active when it comes to service, because as Narada Muni says, you're not going to get ahead on the material side, and there's unlimited scope for advancing spiritually. So you can double down on your spiritual bets, but on the material bets, you should pull everything off the table. It's funny using gambling examples in it. But Prabhupada uses it. He says that it's one of the regulative principles not to gamble, because you give away your power. You basically leave everything to chance. We should deliberately advance in life on all fronts and not put it to chance. But he says the thrill that people get from gambling can be replaced by surrendering to Krishna, because you get a great exhilaration by even putting that prayer out. I mean, try saying the prayer, uttering it tonight before you take rest. Say, Krishna, you know what's best for me. You do whatever you like. And make whatever arrangements, take away whatever you think attachment I have, and you just take it away. And see how you feel. You'll be like, that's an exciting life. And when you actually find that Krishna knows exactly what I need, and we let him do it, then life becomes exciting at every moment. Holding on to stuff is a real drag, actually. It's a real pain. 1, 2.
Thank you.
1, 2, 3.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Maharaj, one of the things which struck me the most is the justification. I mean, at every moment and every situation, there is a very valid justification that I am doing good, and I cannot do more because of this, and it's very convincing all the time. But I found also very, important that once I'm hearing here when I'm in the lecture,
Look it up.
at that moment you feel like you want to do more. But when you go out, the justification things always convinces you the most. I want to get out of that mode to do more.
Are you sure it's always? Does it always do?
Sorry?
You said when you go out, then justification always.
I mean,
takes
most
over.
of the time, right?
That's different than always.
Sorry, yes. Yeah,
So
most of the time.
Yeah, most of the time. But consider the times when it doesn't overcome. What a victory that is for a living entity who has attained a human body and then come to the spiritual path, has made vows, to then be able to systematically observe when one's justifying, when one isn't, and then be able to overcome the justification and make the right decision. That's a day to celebrate. You deserve to have hold a big feast at your house and invite us all over. Whenever that happens, it's a glorious moment. And if you can get one of those moments every day where you're able to actually observe what's happening and how the mind is offering you a justification and how you overcome that, and you can build on that. If you have one of those victories every month and you start adding them up, you can gradually develop to the point where you don't have any anymore. And you have to then live your life in such a way that they don't creep back in again. You have to be vigilant. Yes. Justification. Here's what it means.
Justification is a noun, and there are several meanings to that. A reason, fact, circumstance, or explanation that justifies or defends.
Justifies or what?
Defends.
Defends.
Then number 2, an act of justifying. 3, the state of being justified. 4, also called justification by faith. That is theology, the act of God, whereby humankind is made or accounted just or free from guilt or penalty of sin. So
Okay, where does it come from?
The origin is Middle English or late Latin justification, which is the stem of justificatio, equivalent to justificatus, and is the past participle of justificare. And it's suggesting
Justificare.
and it's suggested to look up just the word justify, which has similar meanings. And in the origin again for the word justify, the Middle English justifian, or Old French justifier, or late Latin justification.
It's been around a while.
Yeah.
Okay, keep going. We're almost there.
Equivalent to Latin justi, which is the combining form of justus, which means just. And there were some related forms of justification which I liked: pre-justifying, re-justifying, super-justifying.
Pre, and super.
Super.
Yeah, there's lots of ways you can justify. Okay, who is next? Keshri?
Prabhu, I was just thinking about the point that you mentioned about if suppose you tell Krishna that just do whatever you want. I do try to do that, but what
You just
my
did
mind,
it just now.
My mind gives this proposition: what if he gives you so much difficulties that you won't even continue thinking about him? Then that scares the how,
Well,
I mean,
what
like I
we
could
just
see the Maya knocking, and
What we just read explained that for those who are surrendering to Krishna, he infuses them with spiritual knowledge. As I've said before, in the beginning, one considers that spiritual life is all risk and no gain. But as one begins to practice surrendering, one will come to the realization that spiritual life is all gain and no risk. Material life looks like it's all gain and no risk, but actually it's all risk and no gain. And Krishna will give us the intelligence to see that. But first you have to surrender. That's why it's so nice to go on sankirtan. Because when you go on book distribution, it's an act of faith. You walk out the door and you don't know what's going to happen. And Prabhupada mentioned that in the purport. He said, nobody knows what's going to happen next. And when you're doing that service, going out for book distribution especially, you really don't know what's going to happen next. How people are going to react, how they're going to come at you, what's going to happen in the environment and so forth. And you start to see, when you put yourself out there in that zone where you're depending on Krishna, that wonderful things always happen. And that you can start to live in that zone in the rest of your life as well. So it's a matter of practice.
yeah, I just wanted to comment that it is just so easy to give the ropes to Krishna and sit as a passenger rather than ask Krishna, I want to hold my own ropes. I was just thinking about, Krishna, I'm just surrendering to you that please take care of my mind, my body, my soul, everything is yours. And that's more relaxing than, sometimes it's funny that why did I choose to do the whole thing myself?
Yeah, it's a big burden. Okay. Yes.
Maharaj, you were mentioning that I live to be corrected and I'm not above chastisement. But I've seen it's sometimes difficult to accept the chastisement in positive way or any negative feedback and to work upon it. So how we can develop that mood to work on chastisement, improve ourselves?
Well, one thing is to use that mantra, I live to be corrected. Mantras are very powerful because when you are corrected and your mind says, how dare this person give me any instruction whatsoever? I know everything. Some people tell us that. We go door to door, we're out on Sankirtan and show somebody something. I know everything. It's like, that's me. my ego is always saying that. If you use this mantra, I live to be corrected, remember that's. So the verse says, Trinadapi suniche na. So one should always prepare oneself for giving respect to others and not taking respect in return. Of course, this doesn't justify bullying in the material world. For instance, if somebody is abusing you or taking advantage of you in some way, it doesn't mean that you simply lie down and take the abuse. Real humility means to accept Krishna's agenda over one's own. And if you practice, for instance, in practical circumstances, you may have somebody that you're close with, that you live with. For instance, some people have spouses they live with. And there's every possibility when you live with a spouse, there may be some difference of opinion. Possible? At some point. Or you may, even in the brahmachari ashram, I see this all the time, because we visit various brahmachari ashrams and we talk to the senior leaders in the brahmachari ashram. Possible for difference of opinion, happens all the time. Such and such likes to leave stuff on the floor. The other person doesn't like to see stuff left on the floor. Other people like to stay up late. There's, when you're dealing with other people, there's a lot of, there's going to be friction and difference of opinion. So one can practice in those circumstances rather than simply becoming offended. You have to learn how to communicate to other people, express yourself, and in a nonviolent way, and work it out, and see how that works, and take the instruction from every circumstance that comes into your life. Take it as a learning experience, so that you grow from it, rather than simply becoming offended. Thank you. So basically you have to practice it and also use the mantra. So the next time somebody says something to you and your ego flares up, just say, I live to be corrected, and see how the mantra works for you. That's why Kaviraj Goswami says you should wear this other mantra around your neck. That's what it means. You have to always keep it constantly going. Trinadapi suniche na. You wear that around your neck, because you're going to encounter so much opposition to your stand in the material world that I'm the main guy here. And everyone else go, no, I'm the main guy here. You're not the main guy. So if you constantly remember that Krishna's the main guy, not me, and then it's okay. I mean, even when Maharaj Rahugana started offending Jud Bharat was like, it didn't affect him because he was beyond the conception of the false ego. So he said, you're talking about my body, you're not talking about me. Yes, Maharaj, please.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, it actually reminds of the saying that blessed are the flexible, because they will never be bent out of shape. And I was thinking that Bhakti Yoga is also yoga, and flexibility of consciousness is a very important thing to develop. And that means understanding other people rather than just thinking about myself and what I want and what I don't want. But I wanted to ask about the other point which didn't appear yet in the slideshow. Maybe it's coming. But I heard, and I've actually seen, that it's also a feature of justification, that and we were discussing justifications based on pride and vanity and all these things, but another type of justification is that, oh, I'm too fallen, and so, I cannot really overcome Maya, so I have to succumb to its influence. So
yeah, it isn't in this presentation, but I have made this point previously, and it's one that's, I think, very important, because in the matter of advancing in devotional service, Bhaktivinoda Thakur speaks about climbing a ladder and says you have to put your foot firmly on one rung, and then you have to move to the next. He says, so if you move too fast, he said, then you can slip. But he's also said if you move too slow, then your advancement will be distant. So what are the ways in which this can happen? Through justification, there is a phenomenon, an attitude, which says that I'm permanently unqualified. And everybody else is too, by the way. This is an attitude Prabhupada brings up in a story of these two friends who meet, and they're talking. One says, our friend Dilip, he's a high court judge now. And the other guy says, that's impossible. Dilip's an idiot. And we grew up together. We know Dilip. He's a fool. And I said, no. He's a judge. I said, no, I don't believe it. He said, I saw him. I was there. I was at the courthouse. He's sitting there with the robes on. He's got the gavel, and he's giving sentences. And people are being taken away and awarded money and everything like that. So the friend says, yeah, but he's probably not being paid. And there's a logic that my mother was, when she was a little baby, she was naked. So now she should also be naked because she's grown up. And this is the mentality that addresses the idea that, okay, I knew that guy like a family member. So him, he can't be advanced spiritually. He's my son, it's impossible. Or he's my brother, or a god brother, or others, from the outside. So one may use this justification oneself that I'm permanently unqualified, or others may impose it upon others as well. However, it's not something that we find anywhere in our teachings. In fact, we find the opposite. In the Vedanta Sutra, Vyasadeva Baladev Vidyabhusan points out in his commentaries that Vyasadeva is saying very clearly that the soul is an agent for positive change and can advance to the highest position. And how do we know this? Logically, we know this because all of the scriptures are speaking to whom? To us. And if they're saying, if they're describing the highest levels of advancement in devotional service, for whom are they meant? For us. So he said it's a logical fallacy to say that I can advance if the scriptures are presenting me with the opportunity, saying this is what it looks like, this is how you do it, and then if you can't do it, that doesn't make any sense. It's not logical. So Mahaprabhu also says very clearly, krame, step by step, if you chant Hare Krishna without offenses, you'll come to the highest position. Someone told me that this is many years ago in a certain yatra, there were a lot of devotees that they had formed this group and they chanted 15 rounds a day. Go ahead and giggle or something. Yeah, 15 rounds a day. I mean, why do you suppose they did that and not 16? Every time somebody, how many rounds are you doing now? 15? So what does it mean? It means that they didn't want to take the next step and move into a realm where someone goes, no, you should be initiated now. It's like, I'm only chanting 15 rounds. So don't hover, and also don't claim yourself to be permanently unqualified. It's not true. You have to take responsibility for surrendering. Prabhupada, in a conversation that you'll find in the Veda base with a man who was beginning to say that surrender requires all these prerequisites, and then Prabhupada interrupted him and said, no, it's just like when a man who's very poor meets a rich man who has a bag of money, and he says, "Here, please take it. No strings attached." And so then he has a choice, take it or don't take it. So he said, surrender's like that. Krishna says, Sarva dharman parityaja, mamekam sharanam vraja, aham tvang sarva papebhyo mokshayishami masuchaha. If you surrender, then I'll accept you. So it's eternally a choice that everybody has. And even if you can't conceive of surrender as a one-time, completely in process, you can make steps towards it at any time. You have free will to do that. Otherwise, as Devamrita Swami points out, that the world is consumed by mass consensual trance. Everyone's agreeing to stay in a kind of trance. It's like, well, he's doing it, so it's okay. I'm going to stay that way too. And there are whole philosophies that come up around this justification that one can't actually advance. It becomes calcified, and that becomes the law of one's life, that I'm permanently unqualified. But yasyasti bhaktir bhagavati akinchana sarver gunastatra samasate sura harava bhaktasa kuto mahadguna manoratena sati davato bihi. Bhagavatam says, if you apply yourself to the process of devotional service, you will advance, and all the good qualities of the soul will shine forth. Thank you, Maharaj. What an important point you brought out. Okay, so, yes, Kameshri. And then I'll move on to the last part of the presentation.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I heard this one point that stuck to me. You mentioned about jnana and vairagya. If you have jnana but you don't have vairagya, then you don't know to act upon correctly.
You know, but you can't do it.
Yeah, you know, but you cannot act actually in the right direction. And
you're
so,
like,
yeah, and then if you have vairagya but no jnana, then you don't have proper direction. And that really stuck to me. And actually, you brought up the point that Vasudevi Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojitaha Janeti Ashu Vairagyam Jnanam Cha Yadehituko. So devotion to Lord Vasudeva, Lord Krishna, actually gives both jnana and vairagya. Thank you so much.
Yeah, these are necessary, and they come from chanting Hare Krishna. So what's the solution? Keep the spiritual vibration going in your life at all times. Surround yourself by the vibration and make sure that it's constant in your life. And if at any moment during the day you feel, I'm lost, I don't know which way to go, start chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. As Satsvarup Maharaj used to say, this is the main technique for book distribution, he would say, is just keep chanting. Because and it's the main technique for everything. And Prabhupada would answer letters like this. He'd say, it's the same old answer. Nothing new. There's nothing new here. Take advantage of the thing that you already have. Don't look all over the place for some other thing. This is the main thing. And if you just apply it, you'll see for yourself. All the Shastras say you can directly observe how you're becoming fortified with knowledge and detachment by chanting Hare Krishna. And how Krishna is supplying the intelligence and making the arrangements and the connections that one needs. It's an intimate relationship too. It can't be mistaken for chance. It's intimate. Prabhupada would talk about that in the way in which, you can see the way he risked everything to spread Krishna consciousness all over the world, and Krishna reciprocated in such a obvious and grand way. And Prabhupada would always talk about this intimate way in which devotees were connected to Krishna through this process of surrender to the Sankirtan movement. And he was obviously speaking about his own experience, because that's what was happening at every second. Okay, so how do you like that door anyway? Yeah, I'm going to look at it. So pride, and then there's the door opens, and laxity invites Maya in. Justification, hey, You can stay as long as you like. And then risky attitudes. I'm advanced. The ego thinks, yeah, I'm really advanced. I'm liberated. I can cut corners. I'm independent. I saw in Burlingame Avenue, I was taking my walk, it was about 10 years ago, and there was this man walking down the street with his daughter. And his daughter took off running. Little girl, maybe 2 years old. Clip, clop, down the street. And I was watching the scene as the girl was running away from him. And there was another woman, not related to any of us, walking there. And we both were observing the scene. And he both saw us observing the scene. And then he looked at both of us and he said, she thinks she's independent. And she really did. She looked so determined, like, I'm going to ditch this guy, you know. As his father, her father, and how far could she get? I was just thinking, she's so helpless, you know. She didn't even have a quarter on her, you know, for anything. And you know, within 10 minutes, she'd be lost and completely bewildered in that environment of just the downtown area. But still, she was thinking, I'm out of here, you know. I can fly. So that's this idea of independence, of thinking that I can do something on my own, I can fly away, is a risky attitude. It's not accurate. It's not true, and it's actually not fulfilling either. When I feel that I'm fully dependent on Krishna, then I feel satisfied actually. So how to lock the door on Maya? Safe attitudes. I'm not liberated. Don't claim liberation. Just claim the opposite. I don't have any standing. I'm not liberated. And I'm never above chastisement. This chanting of Hare Krishna, it's the Nam, is just saying the name over and over again in the vocative form. You're just calling out. So you have this opportunity. Prabhupada actually gave us this opportunity by saying, you know, do at least 16 rounds a day. If you could take an hour and a half, 2 hours every day to call out with this feeling that, oh Lord Krishna, please help me, then there's a way in which you can actually be safe from these bad attitudes, these destructive attitudes. And this is Prabhupada's statement, I am the servant's servant 1,000,000 times removed. Don't be the head guy. Nirmana. You should be nirmana, which means I'm not the man. Nirman. Wear this around your neck. Feel free to do these things. Actually, Mahaprabhu said it. So try it. Try Chernadapi Sunechena. Try it on for size for an hour or two, or a day or two, or a week or two, and make it your lifestyle. Narada Muni says, in all activities, physical activities, mental activities, the way you arrange your life, you should be trending towards full humility. And so one can practice this and see how it goes in one's life. I live to be corrected, and now here, if you slip. The possibility you can slip. In fact, my godbrother, after he was initiated, and then he was in a foreign country, and he met Prabhupada. Actually, he had an opportunity each day to go on a walk with Prabhupada, because it was in the 1970. And so he ran ahead of all the devotees, finished his duties so he could be there before everyone else showed up, because he had something that he wanted to tell Prabhupada privately, and that was, Prabhupada, I vowed to do these 4 regular principles, everything like that, but I can't follow it. It says, I'm really fallen, I don't know what to do. And Prabhupada said, one day you will walk. He said, just like a baby. He gets up and falls back down again. You just keep trying, and one day you will walk. And now he's walking. So when you take a spill, here's how to make a comeback. Srila Prabhupada, advancement of Krishna consciousness depends on the attitude of the follower. So attitude is everything, and he's change your attitude, change your life. Anyone who has never made a mistake has never tried anything new. Isn't it nice to think that tomorrow is a new day with no mistakes in it yet? So Prabhupada says, think failure is the pillar to success. And here are 3 solid pieces of advice that have come from experienced devotees who have had their own slips and have come back stronger with more understanding of how the world works. First is don't go away, because there's a difference between falling down and falling away. If you just fall down, you can get back up again. If you fall away, then you put yourself in even worse trouble. So don't go away, and then own the problem. Don't blame it on somebody else. Don't say it's because of blank. Who's blank? Huh? My boss, or the situation. There's so many ways in which I could just say to somebody else, just say it's my fault. And chant constantly. This is one of the ways Prabhupada used to remedy if a devotee, neophyte devotee, came, even a leader, but he was dealing with so many neophytes and beginners, and they would have a problem. He would sometimes say, okay, chant 64 rounds for a period of time. And just sit there and chant. But keep the vibration going. Chant constantly, because that's how you can make a comeback. And feel regret, but not depression. This comes from the 11th canto, 20th chapter, 27 through 28 verses. That feel regret, but not depression. You shouldn't become morbidly depressed, that, I can't do anything. You should feel a little regretful, but don't let it stop you from moving ahead. And then take step by step. This is the easiest way to make a comeback from anything. In fact, you can, I'll speak for myself, it's easy to fall into the mode of ignorance. Just, the mode of ignorance just kind of creeps in, and then it's like, this experience sometimes, I'm working, and then my office begins to fill up with projects, and it starts to become a mess, and I'm thinking, I can't move. How am I going to clean it up? And it's like, okay, just move one arm. There's a rubber band over there. If you grab that one rubber band and move it into the box, can you do that? It's like, I'm not sure. Not sure if I can do it. It's like, just do that one thing. That's all I'm asking you to do. It's like, all right, I've got it. Got it. Okay, put it in the box. Okay, it's in the box. And it's like, now move that piece of paper. And it's like, okay. And then you start to move. Because step by step, in any comeback, you have to take it from where you are right now and take what's the next little step to come back. And there's always a reward, there's a fruit at the end when you make comebacks. Success. Focus on the fundamentals. This is one thing that's really important. Prabhupada writes about how important chanting Hare Krishna is. But then he observed, he said, I see my disciples collecting so many austere books. So many austere books, thinking this will give me an edge. Try the fundamentals, because it's actually really amazing how if you just try to do what's already there, but with full attention, then you realize, I have more than enough already here. And if I just keep my fundamentals strong, then I'll be able to make comebacks very easily and not fall down in the first place. So sadhana should be strict, serious, and sincere. Keep your eyes trained to spot offenses, Prabhupada said. So, look and see, where am I making offenses? This is a very important point, because developing an offensive attitude can actually come back to us. It will come back to us, especially if we offend devotees. And I've noticed also that even if you hear from people who are offensive towards devotees, that it curtails one's ability to appreciate those devotees. And there's a contamination period. Just like when somebody in your family dies, there's a contamination period. When you hear a criticism in a non-constructive way of a Vaishnav, there's a period of time that you have to live with that, and you can't fully open your heart and appreciate that devotee. And the main way that you make advancement in devotional service is by appreciating Vaishnavas. And if your ability to appreciate Vaishnavas becomes curtailed because somebody blasphemed them and you listened, then it's very unfortunate. So you have to become aware of the environment and try not to walk into hazardous areas. Just like these emergency medical workers, EMT, emergency, what does that stand for? And what's EMT? Technician? Okay. EMTs, EMSs, they're taught that a dead paramedic can't save anybody. So when you come to the scene of an accident, you have to be careful that you don't get cut, stabbed, poisoned, drowned, and all these kinds of things. You have to be really careful. Fortify yourself by keeping yourself spiritually and physically fit, because it's much easier to stay in shape than it is to get in shape. And at some positions in your life, it's almost impossible to get back in shape. When Vidura pulled Dhritarashtra out of his palace, Prabhupada mentions there that, he started late, so he couldn't quite come up to the highest position. Prabhupada names, various levels of advancement. And he said he was able to get him to, the first level, but he couldn't get him to the next two because he started late. So stay in shape. It's like maintain your spiritual fitness and your physical fitness. Don't let yourself go spiritually or physically. This is from Prabhupada's instructions about Gajendra. And he says, you have to have physical strength, enthusiasm, and sensual power to be able to go the distance in this lifetime without falling down. So make sure that you take precautions on all these levels so that you don't become victimized by Maya. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Benjamin Franklin, and interestingly, he started the first volunteer fire department. And so when it comes to an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, fire in the town is certainly applicable. Discouragement is also Maya's tool. This sort of somewhat relates. If you become overly discouraged, that's also a kind of a justification. Oh, I'm discouraged, I can't do this. But you should know that if you're sincere and you keep trying, sapada mulam bhajata priyasya taktanya bhavesha hari priyeshaha vikarma yachchot patitam katanchit dhunoti sarvan hridi sanivishtaha. So hridi sanivishtaha, Krishna is entered within the heart of the devotee. And he also, the devotee, the person who's trying, swapada mulam bhajata priyasya, the person who's doing this bhajan, trying to please Krishna through chanting Hare Krishna, is priyasya. It's very dear to Krishna. Tyaktanya bhavasya, the mood of the devotee is to give up the material world. Tyaktanya bhavasya Hare priyasaha, for the sake of Hari, he gives up the material world. Vikarma yachchot petitam katijit, but somehow or other, and the Shastra says this again and again, somehow or other one falls down. That Krishna's there, he knows your sincerity, so he will help you to come back. And there's no prayaschitta to perform other than your sincere endeavor to keep going. So don't become discouraged. Don't boo, but vote. Okay, encouraging words. Even if one has no desire for it. From the light of the Bhagavat, Prabhupada writes in plate number 43, shloka number 43, that once you start the process of devotional service, even if you have no desire for it, it will come of its own force and bring you back. Better to not suffer through the anxiety and the misery of being separated from devotional service. Better to stay fully fixed. Also, servants of Lord Chaitanya need not fear. This is from a commentary on the verse I quoted earlier, Deyam Sada Paribhavagnam Abhishtadoham. And in this verse, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives a commentary. He says, in Kali Yuga, it's really easy to mess up because the age is so contaminated. He said, but devotees of Lord Chaitanya who are sincerely trying to engage in devotional service and push on the Sankirtan movement need not worry, need not fear, because he will help to rectify them. He will surely be promoted to the stage of pure Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada writes in 331 in the Bhagavad Gita. That is, if someone just sincerely tries. And chant without stoppage, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhara, Shiva Sari Gaur, Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Go Premanande. Sai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Sai Gaura Hari Bol. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada. Go Premanande. Thanks for coming out on a Wednesday night here to ISKCON of Silicon Valley. We're open here 24 hours a row, but 24 hours a day, but not in a row. And thank you to everybody who joined us online. We're really grateful that you're here. Please, everyone, turn to the camera and say Hare Krishna. Thank you, Maharaj, for joining us from your world tours, your universal tours, to come here and support our yatra. We deeply appreciate it. And I have to make a quick escape because I have an early flight tomorrow morning to Los Angeles to join with the devotees down there getting ready for the Rath Yatra. And we have a program there early in the morning. So if I sneak out, please don't mind. I'm only doing it because I have to get ready to go. Thank you very much. Go Premanande Haribol. Vanchakalpadurvascha kripasnabevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. And what is the little girl's name right in the middle? What's your name? Huh? Sarah? Sara. S-A-R-A, Sara. Sara sat through the whole class with rapt attention, went through the kirtan and everything like that.